Well, while much attention has been made on President Biden's campaign and his political future in recent days after the debate last week, the month of July is expected to be a pretty big one for Republicans. The Republican National Convention will take place in less than 2 weeks. That means former President Trump will soon reveal his pick for vice president. Scripps News' Joe St. George now with a look at who it could be and why it may really matter come November.
Former President Donald Trump has a big decision to make in the coming days. Who does he want as vice president? The Republican convention, after all, begins July 15th. In recent presidential election years, the pick of vice president has rarely made a difference in the end in the polls. But this year, it is being watched more closely, not just because of the age of the candidates, but because of the number of undecided voters that still exist in key swing states. Final preparations for the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee are taking place, which means the announcement of former President Donald Trump's running mate will take place soon, too. The former president has ruled out selecting his former vice president, Mike Pence, which means it will be someone new next to Trump. Trump has repeatedly hinted that he may announce his pick in Wisconsin either shortly before or even during the RNC. Caroline Sunshine is Deputy Communications Director with the Trump campaign.
The only person who knows who Donald Trump will select for vice president is President Trump himself.
Political odds makers at the gambling site Odds Checker have these candidates as the favorites to be the vice presidential nominee. Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, former Cabinet Secretary Ben Carson, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, and former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Of course, Trump could always pick someone not on that list. Susie Zeisling is an undecided voter in Georgia who previously backed Nikki Haley. She says if Trump picked her, it could get her vote.
If he were to choose a really strong vice presidential candidate, and the only one that I think might sway me would be Nikki Haley.
The only leading contender that could cause a legal problem for former President Trump is Senator Rubio. The Constitution says the president and vice president cannot be from the same state. Trump and Rubio both reside in Florida. One would have to declare another state as their home. Whomever is picked will be tasked with debating Vice President Kamala Harris in the coming weeks on July 23rd or August 13th. The selection, of course, would be immediately life-changing for the for the Republican Party. The Constitution says former President Trump can only serve one more term, so his vice presidential pick could be considered the heir apparent to his political movement. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.